Welcome back to the Taiwan Outlook. I'm your host, Rui Guo. In this segment, we'll continue our conversation with Dr. Li Yun-Jie, Professor of Public Administration at the National Open University. Yun-Jie, I'm going to ask you something closer to home.
Okay.
I'm going to ask you about the situation in
Welcome
Taiwan.
home.
Yes. In the previous segment, we talked a little bit about our importance of Taiwan's export on the overall GDP. And we've talked about the international stimulus measures done by institutions like IMF to try to stimulate growth, try to promote export.
Yes.
And how do you think our government under President Ma Ying-jeou have come up with also a set of stimulus packages, including increase on infrastructure spending, and also in terms of opening up to tourism from mainland China, and then the
consumption coupon,
and the spending voucher, and also in the second half of 2009 that we're going to have possibly mainland investments into Taiwan. How would you think some of these stimulus packages, are they effective, and do you think that they are the right prescription to get Taiwan out of the global financial crisis?
Well, in principle, I think they have the right prescription.
Yes.
I mean, but let me put it this way: the economic stimulus packages initiated by Taiwan government include the consumption coupon program, or spending voucher, expanding investment and public infrastructure construction, urban renewal program, promoting employment project, and test car and etc.
Yes.
According to the estimation of the Directorate General of Budget Accounting and Statistics, DBAG, the packages will contribute 2.7% growth of GDP.
Yes.
Otherwise, Taiwan economic situation could be worse. Basically, those measures have positive impact on the Taiwan's economic growth in the short run. However, some of them, are spending without job creation effect, such as test card and consumption coupon.
Yes.
Which might cause negative side effect in the long run. For example, the tremendous scale of the budget deficit would be the outcome.
Yes.
So the Standard Poor's International, evaluate Taiwan as negative.
Yes. We're going to suffer economic contraction
in the ranking of sovereignty.
Yes.
So that's our problem that we need to face.
Yes. And how would you think some of the problems, in terms of implementing these measures in Taiwan, especially that you mentioned about the spending voucher program. This is a very expensive program.
Yes.
Like 80 billion
NT.
Yes. One shot only. And then how would you think that in terms of the effectiveness of the different packages, what are some of the problems in terms of implementing these measures?
Yeah, I think the effective policy implementation are the key success factor for the economic stimulus packages.
Yes.
The delay of public work is not new in Taiwan. Which would have negative impact on the effectiveness of economic stimulus package. And also, you mentioned about the consumption coupon, and it's a one-shot stimulus.
Yes.
And I think, that is not a panacea.
No.
That's just a,
it's a short term.
Yeah, short term.
Yes.
So I think right now, what the government needs is a long-term, effect package.
Yes.
How the government, create the job opportunities for the employment.
Yes.
So, that's the key. Secondly, I think the strategy of fiscal expansion,
yes,
combined with tax cut,
yes,
will worsen the budget deficits and the government debts in Taiwan. You know, the national debt continued to increase between 2003 to 2008. The total debts of the central government run up to NT 4.8 trillion in 2008, accounting for 40% of GDP, which evaluate the Taiwan sovereignty ranking in the report of Standard & Poor's International, as I mentioned before. So I think the Taiwan government need to spend the money wisely and quickly
and effectively.
But this is a tough job.
And you mentioned about the unemployment situation. Of course, in the first quarter of this year, unemployment has been on the rise. And in the month of March, for example, it's almost 6%. It's at 5.81.
5.8.
So, and also you and I both teach at the universities. And in the summertime, maybe comes the month of July and August, when we have newly graduates from colleges and universities in Taiwan, then the unemployment rate will still go up. So it's likely that we may see that for the remainder of this year, that unemployment could break the 6% barrier. And how do you think that the kinds of policies that are being implemented to help increase employment or the overall effectiveness of our labor policy, what is your opinion as to, is that really addressing the unemployment problem, or is it really addressing the unemployment number?
Well, first of all, I think we need to address the major factors of the unemployment in Taiwan. The Taiwan's unemployment rate rose to 5.7%. In the last month as business/jobs in the ongoing recession. I mean, the major reason for the unemployment rate to keep rising in Taiwan is the decline of export.
Naturally.
Export. And I got the data, for the audience. Better by the global financial crisis, the Taiwan's economic performance throughout 2008 to 2009 continued to be dismal. Figures released by the Ministry of Economic Affairs reveal a record decline in export orders for the first month of the year. I mean, as Taiwan relied export sales for much of its wealth, the export decline in turn is squeezing the domestic economy, with industrial production also in a free fall. It posted a record decrease of 43.1% in January. That has inevitably aggravated the unemployment picture. The Directorate General of Budget, Accounting and Statistics said the jobless rate in March edged up to a 6-year high of 5.8%, like you mentioned. The real situation is undoubtedly even bleaker, as many companies have ordered workers to take unpaid leave. So, I mean, the unemployment situation is really, serious in Taiwan. Right now, the labor policy that the Taiwan government took might have short-term impact, but not a long-term effect. For example, the legislative yuan asserted that in case of a serious economic slump, the Council of Labor Affairs can extend the span of unemployment pension payment to 9 months or 1 year from the existing 6 months, and can determine when to extend the span in accordance with judgment by experts. And afterwards, the Premier Liu Zhaoxuan promised that the executive yuan would send a set of revisions of the employment insurance law to legislative yuan. Obviously, I think, the extending the unemployment pension payment period to 1 year would make the jobless people unwilling to actively search of job. So, right now the government need to review their labor policy in terms of how to create more long-term job opportunity rather than a short-term shot.
And how would you think that government go about doing that, especially with the increase of college graduates coming into the labor market? Sure. And a lot of people will agree with you that we need to address the unemployment problem, not just beautifying the number.
Yes, that's right. That's right. And, you are expert.
I mean, without the structural transformation of the economy and without the revival in the export performance of Taiwan's economy, how can we then address the unemployment problem that we have in Taiwan?
Well, I think the long-term unemployment population is supposed to be the target group of labor policy.
Yes.
So I think now the government have to implement the expanding public construction program.
Yes.
Because they would have a long-term job opportunity.
Yes.
So and also I think in addition of that, I think the economic cooperation framework agreement, signed with China is also important for Taiwan, because if we do not have the ECFA, then we will lose our trade advantages, especially in the chemistry and in the mechanics industry.
Yes.
And that will cause about
additional
100,000 people to lose jobs.
Yes.
So I think the government should work hard to sign the ECFA in the near 1 year or 2 years.
I also hold that thought, Yun-Jie, because after we take a short break, we'll be back to the Taiwan Outlook. We're going to continue this, supposed closer economic, pact with China, the ECFA, and how it will impact Taiwan's, economic performance in the years to come. We'll be right back.